It frustrates me living in a society where culture for people is strange for some reason because they got demons way up here and they got God way down here. Cursed objects have become a real thing now. And you know what people don't understand is that these items can have attachments which can cause serious issues. These items have demonic attachments from demonic entities with real power. And I know firsthand that I've seen what these items can do. So this day was just like any other day. My phone rings and I pick it up. And on the other end of the line was this mother. And she's not frantic, but I can tell that she is frustrated. She begins to tell me that she is a collector and she loves to collect eccentric items from all over the world. And now she buys and sells antiques and she does a pretty damn good job at it and she makes a good profit off of it. And at one time, she goes into this estate sale, and there's antiques everywhere. I mean, valuable paintings, statues, things that she can make money off of. But there is one thing that she saw that she becomes obsessed. She walks into the estate sale with all these antiques all around her. She passes by this doll, but then slowly turns back around. She walks over to it and picks it up. It is like she is drawn to it. Her husband walks over to her and is talking to her, but she doesn't even hear him. He grabs the doll out of her hands and says, "Don't even think about bringing this home. This will give us nightmares." Then she says, "What's wrong, honey?" He says, "You are mesmerized by this thing." And then she looks down at it. And then she looks up at him and he's all burnt. And she looks back at him and then he's just fine. She says, "We are going to take this thing home." He says, "I don't want to." But she gets her way and they bring the doll home with them. All she saw that day was that doll, and she didn't buy anything else that day. She turned down paintings that would have made her a big profit. All she wanted was that doll. The father wanted nothing to do with it, and the kids either. It's not because they didn't like clowns, it's because they did not like that doll. Strange occurrences would happen around this doll. Their daughter one day was playing with the ball and it goes into the living room where the doll is up on the shelf. She is looking for her ball under the couch, under the table. She looks underneath the lamp. She can't find it. She looks up on the shelf where the doll is and it is holding her ball. And now the daughter didn't like it at all. Her husband didn't care for it too much either. And then days later, things continued to happen. And so now mother and daughter are talking after she gets home from school. She says, "How was that science test?" "Well, I think I did pretty well." And all of a sudden, the three lights above them, one of them turns off. They kind of both look up at it. And then it turns on, and all three of them turn on super bright and then blow. And then every one of the light bulbs in the house start to shine super bright and then blow. They call the electrician, but he finds that there is nothing wrong. And the family can't even explain what is going on. But a week later, the entire family is jolted awake at 2 a.m. with the sound no family wants to hear. The fire alarm is going off. As they go for their children to take them outside, their house burns down to the ground. A brand new home, only a year old. A home that they always wanted, now burnt to a crisp. They called the fire department. It only took an hour and a half for them to get there. By the time they arrived, from the burnt ashes in the basement is smoldering. The roof has burnt down. It just ignited like jet fuel all over it. Why are you telling me this? It's because the family has lost everything in their home. But as a skeptic, as an exorcist, we have to, because we cannot explain what happened next. As we head down into the rumble of this burnt down house, stood on the shelf was the purchased doll that they bought. This demonic object is there unscathed, no burnt marks on it. I am left speechless. I say everything is going to be okay. It is a good thing that you called me. What does it want from us? It's not that what it wants from you. You know, some demons, they won't stop until they achieve their goal, and that is until you are dead. And now the Reverend pulls out a divot box and he says, Lord, I bind this object and all the evil contained within it. No more demonic forces may be attached to this family. Amen. So I take the doll to my storage unit. I personally buy a case and I am going to bind this demonic entity to this object with oils and blessed salt. As I place the doll inside, it to never come out of this case. So I would love to tell each and one of you that that cursed doll possessed by the demon is safe and sound in the storage unit, not harming anyone. But I can't quite tell you that's not the case. I had the opportunity to teach about a demonology possession course with cursed items. So I jumped at the opportunity, but it was an opportunity that I will never, ever forget. So, as I start giving these lectures about cursed items, I was telling the audience, and so the family realizes that all of their troubles actually began when their mother purchased this doll from an estate sale. This particular curse item brings with it obsessions and factors. And then an audience member says, Bishop, in my experiences as a psychic medium, I can feel the presence of a demonic, but I don't feel anything right now. I was wondering if we could lift it out of its case. I don't think that particularly would go good. Oh, just for a moment. There's a bit of danger inherited in this. I don't think it's worth the risk. Oh, please. Normally I would never take a cursed object out of its case, but the whole room wanted me to do this. I did it because of good intent. I wanted to teach about it. That was a big mistake. I walked over to the case. I opened it up and the whole room changed. Okay, now I was saying that the family had no idea about this doll. And then all of a sudden, the audience members are all burnt up. Like the mother saw her husband in the beginning. And for the first time, I look at this doll. Is it making us hallucinate things? As the energy completely shifted in the room, as if I was opening a door to the abyss of hell. And then all the things got even worse when all of a sudden behind me, my laptop sets on fire. I'm sorry, I should have known better. Demonic forces are unpredictable. I'll never forget that. Never. And remember, I have a lot of cursed objects. And I mentioned I have never in my life seen a cursed object that actually legitimately did exactly what the family claimed accurately, causes real fire. Attaching demonic to these objects is another way that the enemy can smuggle into your home, because even if you're innocent, it could be wrong. If you buy an antique doll or anything from your local thrift store, a mirror or this table, you don't know what was on that table. You don't know. And so these things get into your home seamlessly, innocently, and then all hell breaks loose. And since that day, I make sure that I do a binding prayer once a week, because I bless my home once a week religiously. And I never, ever forget that, because I take it to the consequences. I talk to this about the dangers of these haunted items, and they are truly dangerous. It is very, very important to keep everyone safe, including myself, from things that I do not do. This discovery, this origin of this curse that was placed upon this stall, and in an exorcism, we all want to make sure that we try to find the source, but ultimately my goal is to make sure that all stays concealed, protected, and far away from the innocent. Unfortunately, problems don't just end with the possessed. No, these objects sometimes can just be the beginning of the results, and a demon terrorizing an unexpected victim. And man, and I've done these witches, these demon possession stories that are based on true events. Crazy things have been happening in my life. Crazy things has been happening in the haunted basement studio. And I don't want to talk about them just because you don't want to talk about it. But I'm telling you right now, my last video was cursed. It took forever to get it right. No, everything was filmed, but everything just didn't seem to go right. And I had to tweak it, and I finally got it fixed. So if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. I haven't watched it yet, so when I do go watch it, if I do like it, I'm gonna hit the like. I might even subscribe to this. So I do have some more exorcist stories coming out leading up to the Exorcist Believer. So if you like that, and if you like scary, creepy stories, go ahead and stick around and watch this next one. And if you dare, hit that subscribe button, because then you'll get all my content that I bring to you. Thank you for joining me in a haunted basement studio today. Triple Beast is out. Laters.